guys, it's Potatoed, and today we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite slash best Prime Warframes in the game. Before we keep going, please slap that subscribe button. We're almost at 75 subs, and I want to thank all of you who have stayed since the very beginning, because I've been going on for almost exactly 3 years now. So, let's get on, let's go ahead and get into this. So, before I tell you all my top 10, we're gonna go, I need to explain this. These aren't going into my favorite. I'm not being biased to any of these, except for maybe 2 of them. But I'm also using this for what the pro players like. So, example, we'll just say me, because I do choose something different because I am a higher mastery rank and I've been playing this game for a really long time, and I know what I want and I know what I need. So if I choose somebody, I want like a Nova Prime or a Frost Prime or an XPrime or something, other than like a Mag Prime if I'm doing it like a defense. So I'm choosing what the pro players want, statistically, like what people like the most. Not what I like the most, but what everybody seems to like the most. Also, I've looked up some sites on this. Even Quiet Shy went into it a little bit a long time ago in one of her other videos, but somewhat as a joke. And just kind of like how useful they are in different types of missions. That's how this is kind of being set up. So we're going to number 10, which is Valbin Prime. He's had recent buffs, not recent-ish recent buffs, and they still may. I mean, he's a good Prime Warframe. That's why he is up on here. People don't ask for him that much anymore, and there's many reasons for that. But his Bastille and his Vortex are about the only, about the best things on him. Sadly, his other 2 powers are kind of trash. But Bastille is really good if you're going into a raid or some defense missions. I prefer Nova and defense missions in a Valbin if I had to choose. And Vortex isn't bad either to getting some crowd control, like getting the crowd under control. I do recommend him if you haven't gotten him yet, because he is an highly requested character, and I say ish for many reasons, because again, most people would want Nova over Valbin. So we go for number 9. Me, I don't have this character yet on this account. I do have other accounts. For example, my my PC. I have this game on my PC, and I do have Necro's Prime. I don't have it on this one, sadly, but Necros isn't highest, like a big character that everybody wants, but he did get some buffs again. All of his moves are moderately useful. He's here. This one is one of the only ones I've probably am a little bit toward like biased, because I hate Necros. He's my least favorite character in this game, him and Zephyr, so that's why I chose him here. But he is also not highly wanted, and his moves are again moderate. The best one in my opinion is Desecrate and Shadows of the Dead. Especially with his augment for Shadows of the Dead, is pretty good. But you know, he's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna jack him up for anybody who actually likes him, but even my friends that have wanted him go after him, and I tell them that he's an ish character, and I know my friends, and I tell them that he's not that great of a character, and a lot of them don't like him. I think I have maybe 2 friends that actually like this character, but again, he's not a highly requested player. In some resource missions he is, though, so that's why I put him here, number 9. Number 8, I chose Sarin Prime, and Sarin Prime is actually a pretty good player, especially for just randomly either soloing or killing just a bunch of random enemies that are a little that are kind of high, that may be a little bit hard to kill. She's a great player, and one of my favorites. Maybe not one of my favorite primes, but she's a good character nonetheless. Her miasma by far is her best, but you do have to use spores and molt together to make miasma strong. Before, though, her miasma was like, I don't know. I don't really like the recent changes. I think I've discussed this back then, but she does do more damage now, which I do appreciate. It's just kind of tedious in a way, but I put her here basically just because she's somewhat requested, not too much, but a little bit. And it's mostly because she can kill stuff, and she can kill it fast, which is great to have on a defense if you need, you know, again, stuff dead. We go on to Trinity Prime. She got a massive nerf, if you haven't heard. But she's still pretty good. Her blessing's okay now, but what I normally use now is either Energy Vamp or Link. Link can basically make you invincible, which is one reason why I love it so much. And Energy Vamp is pretty good, again, as well, just to give out energy to your friends. Now, I believe they did put up buff blessing again, which is really nice. And Trinity is a highly requested player for some pros. Some of us do know that the thing may be a little bit too crappy to have Trinity, so we kind of iffy on it. But Trinity, again, is a great character, and if I had to recommend any so far, it would actually be her and Valbin the most that I would recommend, because a lot of people, again, do choose her over a lot of these other characters. Number 6, we go to XPrime. Ash is a character that, again, is crowd control. His Blade Storm is great. I really don't like any of his other ones, because if I wanted to be invisible, I would be Loki for a smoke screen. I don't like that very much. Teleports, again, I would choose Loki, because I can, again, do both the same thing. But his Blade Storm is why he's here, because a lot of people do love him, again, because of his crowd control, and he is, again, highly wanted against for some players, for some pro players that want him in his defense. So if you're kind of a lower level, I do again recommend getting XPrime. I will do a video later on which one my 5 characters of primes that I think y'all should get for just for if you're a lower level. But XPrime would be on there, probably, maybe, somewhat. It kind of depends, because he would be maybe probably on one of the ones that would be like number 6 instead of number 5 for the ones that I would choose for y'all to get. But he is a great character, and if you're doing solo or anything like that, I do recommend Ash. Number 5 is Loki Prime. Loki Prime, everybody loves him because he can turn invisible and basically he can be invincible, and I don't know why those colors looks that trashy on it. Yeah, okay, that looks better. But anyways, Loki Prime is definitely wanted for pro players. Even myself, I do choose him for some T4 survivals, depending on who I have in my team. And like, Loki is definitely a great character if you're a low level and you can't survive very much. I do recommend getting Loki, because then you can just stay invisible for a long amount of time, and he's kind of also a fun character, which is great. I personally don't like Loki that much, but I do ask for him just because a lot of people do know how to use him better than I do. But he is again a good character, especially for spy missions and whatnot. He's a good character to have with you. Number 4. Alright, guys, now this is where we start to get into characters that you need to have, because these 4 characters you need to have, except for maybe one of them, but this one is one that I would definitely say you need to go out and get him right now if you don't have him, because you just left. Sadly, she did. But you can buy her for pretty darn cheap right now, so it would be Nyx Prime. Nyx Prime is a fantastic character to have. I love her so much. Chaos is great. Mind control is pretty good. Absorb is amazing as well. Psychic Bolts is but Absorb is great because now that we have, first it was good I'm just gonna say it was great in the first hand, but then they put out the Assimilate augment, I believe that's how you pronounce it, where she can walk around now and kill people and absorb stuff as she's walking, which is, I love it. It's amazing for me, and I do personally love that ability. Chaos is great, again, for crowd control and a defense mission. I always ask for Nyx Prime when I'm doing a defense mission, every single time. So I do recommend getting Nyx. Definitely recommend getting Nyx. Every single one of her abilities is useful except for Psychic Bolts-ish, because some people can make Psychic Bolts pretty good. For example, my best friend, he can do it very well. But again, it's for lower tier missions than like a T4 defense, which is what I normally bring my Nyx on. Number 3, guys, again, a character that left, but is actually still really darn expensive, and I wish it would go down, because I feel bad for some of the lower level players that don't get to have them just because of how people jack up the prices. Frost Prime. Frost Prime is definitely a character, again, a character that you have to have because everybody wants him on their on a T4 or whatever. Now, we want him basically because of his snow globe. That's probably his best move in my opinion. His snow globe is absolutely amazing. I actually, the other day, I ended up going onto an interception with just Snow Globe by myself, and I went on, I don't even know how many waves. I went for a long ass time, and then I got my friend in to do it with me, and we went even longer. I mean, we got like, I don't even want to, I can't even say it because we went on so long that I can't even tell you how many rewards and whatnot we got and how long we were there. We were there for probably 2 to 3 hours. We were there for a long time, but we did get great stuff, and the Snow Globe is definitely a useful move. Same thing with Avalanche and Ice Wave as well, especially with the not recent, again, past buffs that he's gotten, and I really do appreciate that DE, so thank you. Number 2. Alright, guys, this is my personal, this is probably another one that I'm biased towards, but I do love her with a passion. I wouldn't recommend going out and getting her, though, just because a lot of people don't ask for her, but I love her, and I don't ask for her myself, but I love her second ability. I've never known how to pronounce it, and I don't want to pronounce it in front of everybody on YouTube. Fire Blast and World on Fire, all 3 of those are great moves, and she's just a great, again, crowd control frame on Infested, and just she kill like a boss, especially with the again, I want to keep saying recent, with the past buffs on efficiency and duration mods. Yes, she turned into a absolute badass, we'll just say. I recommend her if you're just wanting to have fun with the character, because she's obviously a lot of fun and great to use. Now, y'all probably have figured this one out by now. Number 1 is my actual favorite character. This one or Ivara, but Ivara's not a Prime. So, number 1 is going to be Nova Prime. So, if y'all don't know, I love Nova Prime for many, many reasons. Almost every single one of her abilities is useful, except for probably Wormhole. This one is not a bias, but this one's also towards me. I don't love it, but I ask people for Nova if I'm not being I normally Nova myself. Nova's my biggest character, and she's just, I don't know, I've used her since I've used her, oh gosh, I've been starting to really use her for probably the past 2 years, if not longer, 2-3 years. But her molecular prime, again, is on par with probably having the best attacks. Not best attacks, she can slow people down or speed people up, which is fantastic to have. I love that. I mean, I take her on a defense especially because you can slow people down, but if I want to speed run it, then I can speed people up and make it even easier on us as well. It kills them faster as well, and it explodes everything around, which is great. Wormhole, you can just escape out of sticky situations. Antimatter drop, I do like it more. I actually didn't like it beforehand, but then they put out Antimatter Absorb, which, it's great. I actually love using that so much. It's so much fun to use because you can kill everything in your path. And Null Star is pretty good as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Tell me down below what your favorite Prime is, because I know a lot of people do love Loki, Nyx, Frost, and Nova Prime as well. I personally love Nova, and being a pro player, I ask her, I know I've said this many times, but I ask for her a lot if I'm not using her. And she's, again, one of the highly wanted character for almost every single mission type possible. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, smack that like button, and I'll see you guys next time on the next video. Peace.